So if you really want to drink alcohol while you take Accutane, this video might be just right for you. Because even though like drinking alcohol on Accutane is very dangerous and like it's actually not worth it, I know some of you guys still want to do it anyways because you really want to drink alcohol because of social pressure or whatever. And before you just drink it without knowing anything, it's better to give you some background information so you decrease the risk and do it as good as possible. However, don't do it, okay? Don't do it, and if you do it, talk to your doctor. He will know what's up. I'm just a random guy who has some experience doing this, but it's not a good idea, okay? First of all, the dangers of drinking alcohol on Accutane are toxic liver damage, like death of liver cells, necrosis, or in the worst case scenario, acute liver failure. In addition to that, you could get acute inflammation of the pancreas. Alcohol also dehydrates your body, and there are more dangers to that, but like you shouldn't take it easy. You could easily die from drinking too much alcohol and isotretinoin. Okay, we will start with the common misbelief that you could just leave out taking the pill for a day or so, or like for 2 days, and then you can drink alcohol. That's not true because isotretinoin is in your system 24/7, and it takes at least a whole week, I mean minimum a whole week to to break down enough of the isotretinoin, so drinking will be fine. Another common misbelief is that timing the pill will do anything. I mean, whether you take the pill right before drinking or in the morning and you drink in the evening, it doesn't really matter that much. However, it's still smart to take the pill in the morning or for lunch because if you take the pill, you should take it with a fatty meal for better absorption. And you shouldn't eat the fatty meal right before drinking, okay? Because that will increase your risk of getting like pancreatitis, and that could end up very bad. So yeah, you should take the pill with a fatty meal. I would recommend to take it in the morning because that's then you have enough time to digest the meal and your cholesterol will be lower by the time you drink alcohol. The meal will be digested by that time. If you take it with a fatty meal, consider to have good fats. So I would recommend grass-fed, grass-finished beef or some high quality egg yolks. Yeah, just make sure to not get too many trans fats or like bullshit seed oils or something like that, because that's not good for your health in any way. So right before drinking, what should you consider? First of all, you have to eat ideally something that's low in fat and high in protein, because if it's high in protein, it still takes a long time to digest, and it still hinders the absorption of no, it doesn't hinder, but it still slows the absorption of alcohol. And if you take it 3 to 4 hours before your first drink, the alcohol won't be absorbed as fast. So I would recommend eating something like chicken breast, which is very high in protein and low in fat, but it still takes the time to digest. So you could also eat it with some rice and stuff, but just eating a chicken breast is probably still fine. Just make sure to not eat lots of fat, okay? As little fat as possible, and ideally, if you eat carbohydrates, eat complex ones because they take a longer time to digest too, and they don't spike your fat lipids as much as sugar does. So before you start drinking alcohol, you should already start to drink as much water as possible. Also, while you're drinking alcohol, you should continue to drink as much as possible. Like drink about 2 times the amount of water than like the drinks you're getting that contain alcohol, or like more. Like that's just a random ratio. But I think you get the point. Just drink as much water as possible. Yeah, ideally with some electrolytes. I will come to that in a minute. But yeah, just get the water in. Then there are some supplements that you could take to prevent some liver damage. So the first supplement you could take is N-acetylcysteine or NAC, or you could also take S-acetylglutathione. Like they both do the same. They raise the storage of glutathione. Because the liver rapidly uses up its glutathione reserves to neutralize acetaldehyde, which is the highly toxic byproduct of alcohol metabolism. Like you need one of these tools. These two help you to restore your glutathione. When glutathione is depleted, harmful free radicals accumulate, leading to cell damage and inflammation. So to prevent oxidative stress, glutathione is necessary. Chronic depletion weakens the liver's defense system, contributing to conditions like fatty liver or cirrhosis. Low glutathione levels slow down the clearance of toxins, intensifying hangover symptoms like headaches. Taking glutathione or its precursor, which is NAC, before drinking can help maintain liver storage and mitigate some toxic effects. However, taking one of these doesn't prevent acute liver failure, so it's still dangerous to drink alcohol while taking those. Glutathione works better if it's paired with vitamin C, and it will also be absorbed better, so make sure to also supplement some vitamin C. You should ideally take it 30 to 60 minutes before drinking alcohol. That's why I told you to eat 3 to 4 hours before your first drink, because you have to have like an empty stomach if you want to take these supplements. If you wouldn't take those, you could eat like 2 hours before your first drink. But if you want to take one of those supplements, make sure to eat 3 to 4 hours before your first drink. Silymarin, which is the main active ingredient in milk thistle, directly increases the liver's natural production of glutathione to speed up detox. It stabilizes liver cell membranes, making it harder for alcohol toxins to enter the cells. It also stabilizes liver cell membranes, making it harder for alcohol toxins to enter the cells. Additionally, it fights alcohol-included oxidative stress and blocks inflammatory pathways in the liver. It stimulates protein synthesis to help repair and rebuild damaged liver tissue. While glutathione detoxifies from the inside, silymarin protects the cell from the outside. You should also take it 30 to 60 minutes before drinking. While drinking, as I already said, drink as much water as possible. There's obviously as little alcohol as possible, and if you want to drink a lot of alcohol, which I wouldn't recommend because it's pretty dangerous, don't drink too much at once, okay? Please, I don't want you to die or something like that. So right before bed, you should also take silymarin, NAC, and S-acetylglutathione with vitamin C. What's also very important is to drink lots of water, like at least 1 liter of water with electrolytes. So I would go for about 400 milligrams of potassium citrate, 300 milligrams of magnesium biglycinate, or like magnesium malate. It's actually spelled wrong. There's an E in the end. You could just buy these powders online somewhere, just order them. Then you can mix it on your own. Or you could just take some random electrolyte mix, but most probably they have bad ratios and they add some bullshit to it. However, like some of them are good, but most of the times, like at least one ingredient is not in a bioavailable form. So it's kind of a gamble if you don't know anything about the ingredients. So I would just recommend to get like these 3 ingredients and mix it yourself. Also, if you have headache or something, don't take paracetamol because that's pretty dangerous. That also your liver cannot process paracetamol, alcohol, and isotretinoin at the same time, so you might actually die from it if you go take too much. Ibuprofen will be a lot more harmless in this case. Yeah, also your skin will be dehydrated from drinking alcohol, so gently wash it. Moisturizer, lipstick, sunscreen if you go out in the sun, but that's pretty basic. I don't have to elaborate on this. Yeah, so regarding the blood work, you don't want your doctor to stop prescribing you isotretinoin. So your liver enzymes are raised for a few days, like 7 to 14 days, and I think after 2 weeks you should be fine. Your triglycerides will be raised for like about a week. So chill out like at least 2 weeks before your next blood work and you will be fine probably. If smoking cannabis is an option for you, then you might prefer it because it doesn't demand the liver as much as alcohol. And smoking cannabis on isotretinoin is actually quite safe. Of course, there are side effects to it. Like you could like easily get very dry skin and dry eyes and all that stuff, but overall it's much safer than drinking alcohol. If you want a compromise checklist, then check out my school community, which I probably won't have at the time when I upload this video, but maybe in the future you can check that out. I hope you liked it. Leave some feedback. Bye.